Okay. I'll do it. All right. You're already recording. God. Okay. Okay, so I owe you guys a catch up. I had planned to take you along for the show day, but things just really did not go according to plan. So I am now back in. Really, I'm in my dorm room with Lou, and Lou has convinced me if I don't record now, I will never do it because today was just that embarrassing. But I'm going to recap everything that happened today. So first of all, yesterday I said that the weather got bad or was going to get bad today, and it did. Storms were coming this afternoon, so a lot of the bigger classes got moved up to the top of the day. So that meant Royale's class, the Lavender Lane Hunters, sponsored by FLEC, got moved up. So it was one of the first classes this morning, so we didn't have the amount of time we thought we were going to. You know, we thought we were going to have the full day to we were going to lunge her. We were going to give her a really long warm up and get all that energy out because, the show day is always very energizing for horses. And even though she lives close by, she's used to the ruckus and she's used to, screaming kids and stuff. She still had a lot of energy just being at the show. And my nerves definitely didn't help. So warm up was kind of crazy. We thought about scratching, but decided against it. And, her owner was just really pressing us to just try it, just see how it goes. And we did against our better judgment. And she really wasn't into the hunter mood, vibe, I guess you could say. She really wanted to run at those fences, and I was not strong enough to hold her back or ride her in a way that prevented her from doing that. Or I think you can tell where I'm going with this. Our round did not go well. I made it over 2 fences and barely. I fell off over the second fence, lost my seat over the first one really, and barely made it to the second one. I do have a picture of it I'll put up. I'm not going to share any actual footage because after she lunged towards the first, Lou stopped recording, thank goodness. But she did record us walking out of the arena for documentation purposes. But none of this is going to the board, so they won't see all this craziness because we're not buying this horse or leasing this horse or anything. But I might as well share it with y'all because I told you about Royale in the first vlog. So she will not be coming home with us to the JIHSA team. She's not a good fit. She needs a one-to-one rider. She would be a great project, but none of us as, our open level riders have the time to really dedicate to her that she would need. So she's going to have to, find another partner. We cooled her out. We groomed her. We took a lot of good care of her. She didn't do anything wrong. She just has a lot of excitement and she's just young. That's really all it is. But we spent a lot of time with her and we chatted with the owner afterwards and, made sure there were no hard feelings. We weren't upset. It was just, it's how the day went, Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. I don't know. Maybe we'll stay in touch and see how Royale does, but she just won't be part of the college team. As for Tess, she is out of our price range, as I expected. The owner is asking 65,000 Jorvik shillings for her. And I was really curious as to why it was so high, given that, she's not doing big fences. I mean, she has in the past. She's done the big derbies, the big hunter derbies, but right now she's jumping, to 2.6, 2.9 max. That's high, but that's not derby height. And when we pressed a little harder and we got the vet records, because we didn't look at any vet records before the tryout yesterday, just because it was so rushed from the anticipated weather changes and that they were leaving and that day and all of that. But evidently, according to her vet records and her vet checks, she is prone to hoof abscesses. And although she doesn't have any now, so she's sound, she passed the check for entrance to the festival, that history is still there. And that's why they don't have her doing the big derbies anymore, because her feet can't handle it as she's getting a little bit older. She's only 13, but they've noticed some changes. So that seems to be why they're trying to sell her off as well, because they want to do the big fences and she can't do the big fences. So they're selling her, which $65,000 for a 3-foot horse that's going to get an absence every time she clips a rail is insane. It's just not practical for us, even if they were to come down on that price. I mean, I doubt they'd come down. Even if they came down to half, it's still $30,000 or a little over $30,000. So that's absolutely out of the question. So we had to say no to her as well. Between Royale's class and then, tying up loose ends with Tess, we did get to kind of hang out and watch some other classes at the festival. We got some lunch like out on the docks, and Lou and I, and we just kind of enjoyed the day until it was time for Polly's class, which was kind of in the afternoon, evening. They were keeping an eye on the weather and to see if we needed to do indoor, but it stayed. We had some storms in the afternoon, but by the time Polly's class ran around in like kind of the evening, like around 5 p.m., it cleared up. So we didn't really have to worry about her. But I still was kind of reeling from Royale's ride, and I just didn't have my head on my shoulders quite the way I needed to. And Polly was great in her class, but we had a hand gallop ask of us in the class, which I wasn't expecting. Polly's canter, like her working canter, is not good enough for like a hand gallop kind of level. So I had to push her a little bit more when they asked for that. And she's already heavy on her forehand and needs extra support at her normal working canter. So when she's putting a little more effort in, she kind of leans a little bit more forward. And I just didn't support her like I needed to in one of the turns. And we ended up having a big stumble. And it was pretty embarrassing. And I felt so bad for doing that to her, because it was entirely my fault for not riding her how she needs me to. But other than that, she was fantastic. We still placed 10th. This was another class sponsored by FLEC. So really, really happy to be part of those events. It was really fun overall, despite my own performance and stress around it. But Polly was phenomenal the rest of the time. And given that we still placed 10th, her other transitions were just like super crisp. Her gaits were lovely. It's just that stumble, which was entirely my fault. And I don't know if the judge saw it or not. Hopefully not. I don't know. I didn't ask. We took the 10th place ribbon and left. But that did kind of cheer me up to hear our names called, even if it was in the lower end of the spectrum for the rankings. But we will be taking Polly into the program because she's just an absolute angel and recovered from that stumble so well, kept her composure the whole time. It did not faze her. Like, I think that horse could have face planted and would have gotten up and just kept going. She's just all work. But she's the sweetest thing in your pocket. We spent a lot of time cooling her out, grooming her, and taking care of her afterwards as well. And she's just absolutely lovely. So we will have a quarantine period for her up in Dundle. She's going to be up there for her quarantine. They actually, as bad as it is, they had an EHV breakout up there like about a year ago, and they ended up building permanent quarantine stalls that they can use that are, well, they use them for other things, but like when they need quarantine, they use them for that, because they're separated off from their main barn and main facilities for their equestrian events. So she's going to be up there for a week to quarantine before we bring her into our barn, and then we'll get her acclimated over the summer and have we'll probably put her in some of the camps and stuff that we run over the summer. get her settled, and then she'll be part of our official program. The owner was thrilled that we wanted to bring her in. She's really excited to have hers going to a collegiate program just because she competed in JIHSA when she was in school, and she's really excited to have this horse be part of that and making, equestrian sport a little more accessible to college riders. So that's really exciting as well. But I will keep you guys posted on Polly's quarantine, and when we get her to the barn, we'll do, I'll record all that. We'll take you guys along as we acclimate her and see how she does. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll subscribe to follow the team and our progress, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Thank you, Lou. Gosh, just turn the camera off. I'm going to bed. Good night. Thank you.